1801, January 3rd, 2017. Those that like to stand and join us in the Lord's Prayer and Pledge of Allegiance, please do.
Lord in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Entertain a motion from council to approve the legislative minutes from December 20th, 2016. Second?
Second.
Any discussion or corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor of the legislative minutes from December 20th, 2016, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried, minutes are approved. Good evening, Ms. Hurley.
Good evening, Council President, County Council members, ladies and gentlemen. The first item for business this evening is a public hearing on extending hunting to the second Sunday during the deer firearms season in Wicomico County. There is a letter on the council table to the Eastern Shore delegation requesting that they sponsor legislation during the 2017 session to extend hunting to the second Sunday in Wicomico County during the deer firearms season. The letter reads as follows. Dear Eastern Shore delegation, on behalf of the Wicomico County Council, I am writing to urge you to sponsor legislation during the 2017 session to extend hunting on private property to the second Sunday during the deer firearms season in Wicomico County. There are 3 seasons to hunt deer in Maryland, which are as follows: deer bow hunting season, deer firearms season, and deer muzzle loader season. Currently in Wicomico County, hunting is permitted on the last 3 Sundays in October and the first 2 Sundays in November during the deer bow season and the first Sunday of the deer firearms season. Extending Sunday hunting during the deer firearms season will help control the deer population in Wicomico County. When there's a high population of deer, there may be an increase in the number of deer vehicle collisions, damaged crops and vegetation, and Lyme disease. Also, extending Sunday hunting may increase revenues for small businesses and benefit farmers that have suffered crop damage. We thank you for your time and consideration of our request. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact the council office. A public notice was advertised in the Daily Times stating that a public hearing will be held this evening at 6 p.m. regarding this matter.
Thank you, Ms. Hurley. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for the public hearing. Anybody that would like to make any comments in reference to this letter, please go to the podium, state your name and your address and your concerns. Seeing none, that concludes the public hearing. As far as council's concerned, I would think you'd had time to read this. Let me know what is the council's consensus. Would you like to send the letter as is? Would you like to have a work session in regard to the issue?
Good.
Councilman Holly, you good? Joe?
I'm good with it. I'm okay with it.
Everybody's okay?
I'm good with it.
All right, so it's unanimous. Mrs. Hurley, if you could, well, the letter is prepared, just, we'll get it,
Date it.
we'll get the signatures and get it out tomorrow.
All right, next for consideration is resolution number 01, 2017, confirming the appointment of Greg Erdy to the Wicomico County Historic District Commission.
Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 01, 2017.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Resolution 01, 2017, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried, resolution passes.
Next for consideration is resolution number 02, 2017, approving a memorandum of an agreement between the City of Salisbury and Wicomico County, Maryland, to define the terms of the City of Salisbury's usage of the Wicomico County Emergency Radio System and towers.
Entertain a motion from council to approve Resolution 02-2017.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Strasburg, good evening. Could you join us? Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. Also, Vice President Mir Boda is here from the city of Salisbury. Mir, good to see you.
Evening.
If you could just give a brief overview, just so that for the public, and then I know there's some questions that I believe the council members might have.
Yes, what we, perhaps the public knows or doesn't know, but the county is underway with planning and constructing a new emergency management services radio system that will improve and update the communications capabilities with all of our first responders. One of the more important things is that it will give in-building coverage to all of our responders, particularly our firefighters. The project is going to come in probably at a cost of about $18 million. The city is in the same process of upgrading their radios, and rather than constructing their own tower system, it's far more efficient for the city and actually the county to have that equipment on the same towers and have an integrated system. So this agreement defines the terms by which the city is allowed to place their equipment on the county's towers and stipulates the costs that the city is to bear with regard to maintaining their own equipment, the warranties on their own equipment, and reimbursing the county for any costs that are associated with repairs in the radio shop. So it really provides for a much more efficient and much more effective emergency response system for all the citizens in the county
Okay.
and the city.
Questions?
On page 26 there, section 3, county infrastructure. It's talking about building 3 more towers in the county, Naylor Mill Road, Wicomico County Civic Center, and Cedar Hill Park. There's a radio tower right across the street at Y High. Why can't we use that tower?
Come forward.
Glad you brought some technical people with you.
You need technical people for this.
Yeah, yeah, you kidding.
Hi, I'm Lorraine
Hi,
Buck.
Lorraine.
Hi, I'm Deputy Director of Wicomico County Emergency Services. That tower's not high enough, and we actually have to reach out. I'm sorry, we have to reach out. The waves actually have to go toward Pittsville, which is the next tower. So that tower has to be higher.
What about the one at Parkside?
The one at Parkside, again, we also have to keep in mind, we have the airport involved.
Too high.
Yeah, so we have to watch out for that, and we have to meet their standards also, as, you know, when you're dealing with the airport and the FAA.
I was just wondering, because it doesn't make sense to put so many towers up, but
No.
if they're not tall enough, I understand the need.
Just by way of background, Larry, the team that we put together to engineer this system and explore the possibilities looked at a tremendous number of tower array options, and it gets quite technical, but it has to do with the height that they have to be at and the actual placement. And for instance, the one at the Civic Center really got to be within like 100 yards of where we could place it and at what elevation without interfering with the airport glide slope. So it's beyond my pay grade in terms of the technical aspects of it, but it was very, very thoroughly examined, and I'm comfortable that it was well thought out.
Okay, that's just a lot of money.
No, can't agree with you more.
I'm just looking at other options if we could save money, but
No,
we
we
can't,
looked.
I understand.
No, we looked at that.
Any other questions? The only question I had, Wayne, was with the annual contracts, and the way it just phrased, it was talking about the cost per year
Right.
for a 2-year contract with a 3% increase clause. But then I thought it stated that it was only going to be for 2 years, but that couldn't be. This is ongoing, is that not right? With increments of 2 years and 2 years and 2 years, is that how it's being done, or is after the first 2 years, are we done?
On the maintenance of.
The warranty, I'm sorry, the warranty and the software upgrade contract. It says the warranty policy is $237,000 a year with an estimated 3% annual escalation. And the software upgrade contract, I may have answered my own question. It looks like the warranty, the annual contract is annual, but maybe the software upgrade is only 2 years?
yes.
And what happens after the 2 years? We'd either have to get different software, or what happens?
No, there's going to be an upgrade,
Mm-hmm.
and when the upgrade comes out, then that's when the 3% increase is going to take place. And so every year, the city is going to let us know how many portables and that they have to add to the system, which that will increase.
Well,
with
this
that.
is referring to a software upgrade.
The software upgrade, right.
So when you have more portables, the software will be changed?
Okay, no, I should take that back. No, this is going to be in the annual, I'm sorry, the 3%, as well as the portables, that's something separate.
Okay.
But no, the upgrade is going to be yearly, yes,
Okay.
and so,
After the first 2 years, is it another 2-year contract, or do we not know yet?
yeah, I'm not positive on that.
Okay.
And I did have a question on the same topic. How do you know that there's going to be an automatic software upgrade every year, and then you add it on to 3%?
That's only if there is an automatic, if there is
So you can't say there will be an
That's
automatic one, that's
correct.
just in case? Okay.
The software, it's very much like your handheld phone.
Right.
The software is continually migrating, so you
Well, with my cell phone, every upgrade, it seems to get worse instead of better.
I think so, too.
we're planning for that not to happen.
Okay.
I think the most important part was that they wanted to make sure that there was going to be a 3% increase that was involved when that upgrade takes place.
Right.
That was the most important part of it. And then the first one is going to take place in 2 years. They do know that far,
Okay.
far in advance.
Okay, good. Any other questions?
Now, if there's a failure, who does the backup? Where is the backup dispatching at for the county and the city police?
Okay. So we're going to have a microwave as well as fiber backhaul. So the microwave will go in first, and then the fiber will be a backhaul for that. So there shouldn't be when we're down, there shouldn't be a glitch. There shouldn't
What
be-
about a location?
I'm sorry?
If you have to relocate for some emergency in that area, like around Naylor Mill Road, is there a backup location to go to?
Well,
to
see,
dispatch?
that's what happens with the microwave and the fiber. If one of the towers is, what you say is what, one of the towers goes down, is that
What
what you're
about if
saying?
a hazmat incident there and you have to relocate from the building? You have to evacuate.
Okay,
'Cause there's trains that go by there, and if they have to evacuate everybody, you're right there.
right.
Where do you go to dispatch if you have to leave that
Oh,
building?
I'm sorry.
He's talking about the COOP plan.
Okay, yes, the COOP plan. Okay, fine. So right now, we're going to a PRMC,
Okay.
and there, we're going to be also building a new building in the next year. So that will be the actual 911 center, and then the detention center, where we're at now, will be the backup.
Okay. So I knew the old fire station was a backup.
Okay. Right now, it's PRMC, and they will go there. And then once the new building, when that takes place, and with the sheriff's department, that will be our immediate PSAP, and then our backup will be the 911 center.
Okay.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of Resolution 02-2017, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried, resolution passes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This time, I'd like to entertain a motion from council to adjourn the legislative session so that we can reconvene as the Urban Services Commission.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. At this time, we're now convening as the Urban Services Commission. Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 01, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
This is reference to the creation of an urban service district for lighting in the Burnt Branch Acres. Sorry, Mrs. Hurley.
That's
I'll let you go. Continue.
Okay, so we have for the Urban Services Commission's consideration is Resolution Number 01, 2017, to initiate the creation of a urban service district for street lighting in the Burnt Branch Acres subdivision. The property owners of Burnt Branch Acres are concerned about the public safety and crime issues and have submitted a petition pursuant to Chapter 97, Section 97-4B of the Wicomico County Code for street lighting. And we have Weston Young, I believe, here.
Okay. Mr. Young, how are you? Thanks for being here.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So very similar to other lighting districts, the Burnt Branch neighborhood has requested a lighting district be created. And by that, I mean a majority of residents have signed a petition requesting we do this. If council moves forward, Public Works will coordinate the efforts. However, Delmarva Power and Light will do the study, determine how many light poles are needed, and then we'll come back with the pricing. At that point, I believe a public hearing will be held, and the neighborhood can then voice their opinions to this commission.
Okay. Thank you. Questions from council? Councilor Holloway? I'm going to go with Matt Holloway first, Joe.
That's fine.
Thanks.
Anyone opposed in the neighborhood that you know of?
I haven't seen anybody opposed, but I know they did not get 100% signatures. They did reach majority, though.
How do they distribute the cost on this?
Typically, how the urban service, whether it's lighting or like Morris Mill with the water, they'll take the total cost, they'll break it up over, say, a 30-year period, and then it'll be on the tax bill as a special assessment. And a part of that, there's some negotiations in terms of, how it's being funded. Is there an interest in how that works?
But the ongoing cost of the electric, how's that?
They will, trying to think how that's, once it's fully paid off, then the infrastructure cost, it will go down. So finance, the county finance, if I understand correctly, county finance will get the electric bills and then bill that back to them. So it'll
So it'll go to each
appear
individual.
yeah.
So it'll be divided among all the homeowners.
Correct.
In the neighborhood.
Yes.
Councilor Killen?
How long is this process going to, let's say we initiate this, how long is the process going to take until we actually get to approval?
That's a good question. A lot of it will depend on Delmarva Power, their availability and how quickly they can get to it. But we would look to turn it around, pull all information in terms of cost and what it would break down per household. We could probably pull our stuff together in 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay. Now, we did approve something like this a while ago.
Kirkwood?
Yeah, in kind of the same as off Jersey Road, I think. have they got the lights up now? Is that all
Yes.
moving? So they're all set?
Yep.
Okay, so, it's not a real long process, and it doesn't seem like.
No, it's not too long. The lighting side of things is not too expensive. When you talk like water or sewer infrastructure, it gets a little pricier, but lighting is more feasible.
Okay. And all the obligation is with the actual neighborhood. Is there a homeowners association with Burnt Branch, with covenants, et cetera?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I know Councilman Davis is familiar with this, and he could probably chime in there.
Because I didn't know, if we approve it as a commission and Delmarva Power goes through with their study and they decide to put the infrastructure in and the neighborhood says that they can afford it and the infrastructure gets in and there's maybe some more complications such as, I'm assuming the entire property's been built out. I'm curious as to who Delmarva Power may go back to if they've done all the build out and then there's a problem with the payment.
Yeah, I'm not positive how that would be handled. With infrastructure, the lighting will typically be put in county right away, so we would be working with them. They would have to apply for permits with us to put the lighting within the county right away.
So the reason I ask you is because I guess the agreement then, the service agreement, from what I'm familiar with, the service agreement is normally between Delmarva Power and the actual homeowners association. I'm not familiar with a taxing process on the part of the
Oh,
county.
so by making it a special assessment as part of the tax bill, should somebody not pay, that means they're not paying their tax bill. And then it would be a lien on the property, and it would get paid that way. So you would have, say, one homeowner out of the entire neighborhood not meeting their obligations, and that property, just like not paying a tax bill, we would go at it that way.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have an idea how much it might cost the average homeowner per year?
Not at the moment.
No idea at all?
In terms of how many lights are needed, I haven't looked at that subdivision specifically, and then how many poles they would need. It really comes down to the amount of poles. In a situation where, double the poles is gonna be double the initial capital, and then a increase. I'm not sure what type of lighting, if they're going LED lighting or going any sort of energy efficiency in terms of electrical usage. I'm not positive what I would say we could look at Kirkwood and base it, plus or minus the number of houses that are there. Make a guesstimate there, but ultimately, Delmarva Power and Light can answer that. Again, I don't know if they have any other technology that's needed to, newer technology. I think lighting is lighting, but you never know.
I guess that information will be provided before.
Correct. No, but when we have the public hearing, we need each homeowner to know exactly what their tax bill will increase by, as best we can gauge it. We should have a good guess on the electric usage, but we will have hard numbers for the infrastructure that goes in, and then that's where they'll come in and voice their.
So they won't be surprised.
That's correct.
Okay, that's good.
So before the final decision is made, I mean, if we approve the resolution then, and this moves forward, before the final decision made, this will come back to the commission?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No.
Okay.
This is to kick things off to
Okay,
say.
good. Just get the study
Yeah,
started.
Yep, to
Delmarva Power.
get Public Works and Delmarva Power moving on this.
Okay, and at that time, we'll know whether they have a homeowners association or not. We'll know how the structure is done as far as the billing, whether it's the tax
Yes.
lien, or et cetera.
Yes.
Good, great. Any other questions? All right, seeing none. All those in favor of Resolution 01-2017, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried, resolution passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This time, I'd like to entertain a motion from council to adjourn as the Urban Services Commission to reconvene into legislative sessions of Wicomico County Council.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. We are now reconvened as Wicomico County Council, and at this time on the agenda, we have public comments. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to come to the podium with comments, please do so. State your name, your address, and your concern. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Joan Smith, President of the Wicomico County Education Association, WCEA, and I am a Salisbury, Maryland resident. WCEA received a letter, it was typed December 16, 2016, from the County Council, President John Cannon, regarding Senate Bill 145, Chapter 169, which is an act concerning the election and appointment of members of the Wicomico County Board of Education. With understanding of the report that 50% of Wicomico County voters who voted in the last election chose to have an elected school board, it's really in the interest of working within the stipulations of that Chapter 169 with transparency that I come to you this evening. By way of Senate Bill 145, Chapter 169, 3-13A-03, Paragraph 5, which identifies the nominating commission, as a body of 14 members who will take action to fill a vacancy on the Board of Education. It's on page 6 of the bill. In Senate Bill 145, Chapter 169, it states, appointed from the names submitted by the following organizations, entities, or communities of interest. And in that paragraph, I'm asking, within the letter that we were sent, there was no timeline to guide us through selecting the member who would represent WCEA.
Okay.
And so I'm coming to you this evening to ask for some clarification with the expectation of the timeline and what your plan is.
Well, I don't have a problem answering that because you're the third person to ask that. And Mrs. Hurley and I had that discussion this afternoon. If you,
Yeah, we didn't actually put a timeline in the letter, as you mentioned, but we do request that you submit the names to the county executive's office as soon as possible so we can get this nominating commission established.
probably, I guess, a deadline within a month would that suffice?
About a month from December 16?
No, I would say a month from now, if you have a decision by February 1st.
Okay.
And I would also suggest maybe whoever the initial letter went out, we follow up with a second
Sure. letter
to say that we'll establish maybe a deadline of the 1st or the 14th, whatever you think
And will
it
there
would be the
also,
best. Excuse me?
I'm sorry, will there also be a plan as to when that group would be confirmed and have meetings to take some action?
We certainly would be working on it as soon as possible. I couldn't imagine that the process itself would take very long. The executive has to make his decision, and then he would send it to the council, and we would make ours. I couldn't see it as a lengthy process, no.
Okay.
All right, thank you
Thank you.
for coming here. Good evening, President Shawnee.
Good evening. My name is Mary Ashanti, and I'm president of Wicomico County NAACP. And Happy New Year to everyone. I thank God for the opportunity to be here. I have, I think, 3 things, maybe 4. January the 16th, as you know, is Dr. Martin Luther King birthday. This celebration is sponsored by the Martin Luther King Coalition Incorporated, whose president is Jesse Ballard. And tickets can be obtained by calling 410-546-4206. So we're hoping to see the full county council and the county exec there. In past years, there's been good representation from the county and from the city, so we hope that will be continued. On January the 26th is the NAACP's monthly meeting. We have it at Chipman Culture Center at 7 o'clock. It's open to the public. The topic will be a community dialogue. We're wanting to know what the citizens think is important to them for us to address. And so we're hoping that as many of you all could come as possible. We commend President Cannon. He has a great attendance. And I also want to thank you for being to the December meeting, the annual meeting. You're always there, and we want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
On February the 4th, the first Saturday in February each year, we have our African American Heritage Celebration. This year it will be at St. James M. Zion Church on Mack Avenue and Delaware Avenue. And in fact, the address is 521 Mack Avenue. Reverend Dr. David McLennan Sr. is the pastor of that church, and he will be the keynote speaker. And that event is open to the public, and it's free. And so we'll hope everyone will come and join us with that. And lastly, school is back in session again. During the past few months, I had opportunity to meet with some people from the school. And one of the things that we're learning, I don't have the percentage with me, but there are a high percentage of students that cannot read. And our concern is that children from the 6th grade and higher that can't read presents a big problem, a great problem. So we're asking parents and the school system to work together. We're asking parents if they will have their children read to them 2 or 3 times a week. There's no reason for a child to be up in the 6th grade and can't read. Somebody is not listening to their child. The parent is not listening to their child, and neither is the teacher or whatever. So there's no reason. But here we are in Wicomico County, and that's unfortunate. Our concern is that grades pre-K to 5 are critical. No child should go past the 1st grade and not be able to read and write. Now, I know a lot of times people say, well, parents and whatever have 2 or 3 jobs and all of that. My mother worked in the field. I knew how to read and write, and I lived in poverty, but I knew how to read and write before I went to school. And she did field work, if anybody know, lifting baskets and all that. So I can't give parents a free pass, and I can't give the school a free pass. So we've got to do better than that. Thank you.
Thank you, President Shawnee. Any other public comments? President Shawnee, nobody likes to follow you. That being said, that concludes our public comments for the night. Council comments. Councilman Doug? Vice
Yeah,
President?
I'd just like to thank everyone for attending, and like Mary Shante said, Happy New Year to everyone. And Mrs. Shante, I know you're going to bring this to the school board, because you always do. And your observations are wonderful, because there are people out there that can't read. And what you said about your mother is absolutely correct. Your mother was a good mother to help those kids, you, learn how to read. And it's expected that all parents do that. You really can't put the blame on the school teachers, because they do teach. And a lot of that has to happen at home, and it's not happening. So I expect you to be at the Board of Ed meeting and expressing your concerns with them. So thank you for letting us know and keeping us abreast on that.
Any of the council comments? Councilman Hall?
President Gannon, public, welcome to 2017. It's a new year. I would encourage the council to set some goals for 2017. It's sort of a novel idea that we have goals for the council. We tend to be legislative and respond rather than set goals itself. The 6 years that I've been on the council now, I can't think of any time when we have had initiatives that we have generated from the council itself. All of them have come from the executive. I would encourage the council to have a work session or have a retreat where we discuss some goals. There are some issues which are council-related issues and not executive-related issues, but we can involve it. And I'd like to see the council take this initiative to get together and work out some goals for 2017.
Thank you, Councilman Hall. Council comments? Under presidential comments, Councilman Hall, you couldn't be any more correct. As a matter of fact, we do have a work session scheduled for council goals, I believe, at our next meeting. So we're right on top of it. So we're trying to stay ahead of the game and stay ahead of the curve that you always establish for everybody, John.
Thank you.
That being said, I don't have any of the presidential comments, except for I hope everybody had a great holiday, a great Christmas, and a wonderful New Year. As John said, it is 2017. We have a lot of good things, I think, planned for the new year and for the next couple of years in Wicomico County. I appreciate everybody being here, and I'd like to entertain a motion from council to adjourn so that we can go into open work session, followed by closed work session.
So moved.
Second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion's carried. Meeting's adjourned. We're going to take a 5-minute recess if that's okay. Thank you very much.
Well, he's going to be in next week.
I know, so it's-